And welcome back to In the Shop at Quaker City Motorworks here. Now, what I'm going to do here is a couple videos, and the idea is go over the things that you should look at when purchasing a used or vintage bike. One thing that I think is really important to understand when buying a used or vintage bike is that the cost of you getting that vehicle street-worthy might surprise you. One rule I sort of go with whenever I look at a bike that I'm going to buy is I'm going to be blowing $500 right off the bat. And hopefully these couple videos will explain why I think that. Now, the first thing I'm going to go into is tires. Now, on a bike, you've got 2 points of contact with the ground, and you want them to work. You want them to stick. You want them to, have you take off and have you stop. So look at any bike's tires. Make sure that, you're going to look at them. You're going to make sure that it's a decent tread and all that kind of fun stuff. But what you want to make sure is they're not old, dry, or hard. Okay? Now, just realized I said that. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to look at the tire and you're going to see if there's any dry cracking on it. You're going to go and sort of poke into the tire, see how soft that rubber is. If you poke in and it sort of holds that and you almost cut it, that's a little dried out. But if it bounces back, it's still got its rubbery components, okay? So, that's really easy to do, the dry cracking you see. And that's just very visual stuff that you can do. The other thing you can do is, and this isn't generally a yes or no kind of thing, because you can have older tires that are still good, is take a look at your tire. Somewhere on that tire is going to be, like on this one, it's right here. There's going to be 4 digits. Usually it'll have a DOT stamp where it'll have DOT, maybe something else, and then you'll have 4 digits. This one has 3507. So what this means on this tire is that this tire is 10 years old. So right now it's year 17. We've got 07. This tire was made in 07, but in the 35th week of 07, which would put it somewhere past the middle of the year. So we have a date on this tire. Now, this is not like a hard and fast rule. You can have an older tire that is still tacky and sticky, but at 10 years old, I wouldn't want to use this on one of my bikes. If you're racing, a lot of racers, 2-3-year-old tire, they won't touch, okay? So don't do it. So there's like some basic stuff. Take a look at the bike you're going to buy. Look at it. See what the tread looks like. The other thing is make sure you have decent tread on there. There's tools out there. This little thing measures the depth of your tread. Now, in the state of Pennsylvania, you have to have 2 seconds of tread on the bike. So you'd come in with a tool like this. You'd stick it in and you'd look at it. And this, it doesn't look like much, but that line there is 2. But you're going to go in towards the center, where on this one, it still says it's 2. Technically, this would pass inspection, but how that's worn right there, I would not ride that myself. Plus, it's easy for me to get tires. There is an old penny trick that basically, I don't know. I always had something to measure them. I think the penny trick is you stick the penny in, and if you can, basically, if it goes over like Abe's hair or something like that, I don't know. You can look that one up. But 2 seconds. That's minimal. I mean, you're looking for 4 or something like that. The grittier the tire, for more like multi-purpose, it's going to have more tread. Now, let me get back my notes here. Now, the one thing I do want to warn you is when you do buy tires online, at superstores. I'm going to warn you two things about that. You do buy tires online at a superstore, you don't know how old those tires are. A lot of people out there are drop shippers, and they might be drop shipping from a bigger warehouse than they are. Who knows? I just got a tire the other day. It upset me greatly. It turns out it was 8 years old, and this is a supplier that has never steered me wrong in the past, but it was a very rare tire, and it's been sitting on the shelf at their shop, at their warehouse, for a long time. A lot of times those warehouses, they buy them in such bulk, and if they do sit around, you can get a 5-year-old, 6-year-old tire. You don't want to buy anything more than a year old. Now, the other thing with buying online is if you're going to have somebody else put that tire on for you. Now, if somebody else puts that tire on for you, you just took, the one thing with online is you'll get it cheaper. But what you're doing is you're ruining your local motorcycle shop. You're taking money away from them being able to pay their bills. So you go, well, I'm going to pay them to put the tire on. Yeah, that's, they'll make $50 putting a tire on you, but considered in that $50 or whatever they charge you to do the tire is the cost and their profit from selling you the tire. So maybe you might pay $10, $20 more getting it from them, but still, you're supporting a local business that's going to support you in the near future. Now, the other thing is shop like me, I'll waive recycling fees if you come and get your tire from me while I'm doing this. So you don't pay that recycling fee. So there's like $5, $10. Some shops will actually charge you more to put somebody else's tire on. Some of it also goes into my insurance doesn't want me to put a used tire on any bike. So legally, through my insurance company, I cannot put a used tire on anyone's motorcycle. All right, that's all. You can look at the tires. Now, here's the thing is when you look at the tires on the bike and you can determine whether they're dry, whether they're cracked, how good they look, are they worn unevenly, things like that. The wearing unevenly is going to tell you other things about the bike as well. We're just worrying about normal wear. And this is where you get into purchase price, because all of a sudden you look and you go, man, I need 2 new tires on this bike. If you can do the tires yourself, maybe that'll only cost you $300, because a front tire and a rear tire, $120 and $140, with tubes at about $15 to $20 each. Now, right there, you've got 30 plus 160, there's, $290, something like that. That's just the start. And then what if you're paying somebody to put those on? $50 a tire. Okay? And then any recycling fees, stuff like that. So you're getting really close to $400, and you still haven't looked over. You still don't even know if the motor works, all that kind of stuff. Does it really run well? So they're, simple little thing. You're going to buy a bike. There's the tire part of it. Okay? So next time, hopefully this easily digested. Next time, I'm going to go and we're going to talk about the brakes and how you can determine the brakes and things like that when buying a bike. All right? Thanks a lot. Have a good one.